Currency type entered, we want to leave entered there. Now here's where I was telling you you got to put in a fund and cost center. So if you know your fund and cost center, you can try to type it in. If not, you can hit the drop down. It's going to list all the funds in the chart of accounts here. You can scroll to find yours, or you can hit the search here. This is going to bring up a search function. You can search it wide open. And we're going to just look at 1100 today. And then here's where you put in your account. Now it says natural account segment. This is just the same as an account in eBiz that you're used to. So once again, you can hit the drop down. You can search for the account. I'm going to type in 714310. Know something's in there. I'm going to search. And it gives you the description here of whatever you're looking up. So that's its local mileage. So okay. And you have the option of putting in a cost center. You don't have to, but if you'd like, you can. If you know the cost center as well, you can put that in here, but it's not a required. And once you get all this, if you're going to be searching for, a specific fund or account on a regular basis, you can save these parameters so that whenever you come back here, they're already entered for you. So I'm going to hit this save button, and then you can call this whatever you want to call it. We'll just say local mileage lookup. And you can set this as default so that every time you come to the inquiry and journal lines, this is what you're going to see. So we'll hit OK. And once I do that, it should be up here. It's not. Well, once you save your searches, oh, there it goes. I guess it just, system's a little slow. So now, save search box, you can hit the drop down, and this is what we just saved. So now that we've got everything entered in that's starred, we're going to go ahead and hit search. Give it a minute. Okay. So this is everything. We got a lot of conversion entries in here. It's going to give us everything in 1100 and this account number. So we're going to get things, like I said, we left the cost center blank, so we're going to get all these different cost centers that have this account and this fund. I'm actually going to go back. To go back, you can either hit done, or if you want, you can just hit this little triangle next to the search button up here. I'm actually going to narrow this down a little bit. I'm going to go to source. I'm going to hit the down arrow. I'm going to hit search. And I'm going to type in payables. We're going to look at an invoice here. So payables, you got to click on it down here once you type. If you search for something, you always got to come down here and make sure it's highlight blue. Hit OK. So now that we got the payables, we're going to hit search again. Trying to get a so now we've got an invoice we can instead of a conversion entry. Here you can export this to Excel. If you've got a bunch of things you want to look at, you can throw it into Excel. With a lot of these inquire functions, you get a query by example button up here. If this is highlighted blue, you're going to get these search bars above each column. So if we had a bunch of journals, a bunch of different categories or something, you could search for a specific thing here. And let's see. So also under the view function, you have the option of adding different headers to your column here. Right now, you can see the ones we've checked. These are just going to be the default categories. But you could add reconciliation date, encumbrance type, balance type, whatever. You could put the ledger on here, although most of you or all of you are going to be in the one primary ledger. So, well, excuse me. So once here, you can click on this hyperlink to view the journal. So we're going to do that. So this brings you back to the Inquire Journals page, or you can see who uploaded it or who created it. If you go to the batch options up here and hit the show more and go to the action log, it's going to give you who created it, who posted it. This was done by Lacey. Hit show less, put that out of the way. You can see that it's been posted. You can see the source. It came from payables. And here's your journal. Here's the full journal that this one journal came in on. So you can see the entire journal import that we have here. And once again, you can export this to Excel. You just hover over this, it says export to Excel, and this will populate to Excel for you. I'll go ahead and show you what this does. So you hit the export button. It's going to download it. It's going to put it here. You can open. And here is the full journal in Excel format where you can do whatever you'd like to do. So we'll exit out of that. Scroll back up. We'll go back. Cancel button up here. One more thing I wanted to show you under the search function. So back to the search function, you have this advanced button up here. Basically, this is just going to give you other options to search from. You can add different parameters. So if you hit this, it changes the buttons down here. So I'm going to go back to, let me show you. Basic, you have search, reset, save. If you hit advanced, you're going to have this add fields thing where you can add different types of just different parameters to search from. Accounting sequence number is what most of you are going to know as JV or a document number. So you can click on that and put it in here somewhere right here. So if you know that number, you can type that in. Just another way to narrow down your search. But I'm going to exit out of this. I want to show you what happens when you click on the actual balance right here, the debit, the $23. So we're going to click on this. And now we got to the subledger page. So this says it came from payables. You can view the journal entry here. You can view the transaction. If you click on view journal entry, it's going to take you to this page, which just kind of highlights the journal entry. Instead of giving you the entire like import journal, it's only the lines that apply to this invoice. So here you can look at transaction details, payment status fully paid, the invoice amount, the invoice number is here, sequences. If we had the sequence numbering we set up late, just last week, I believe. So this one doesn't have a number, but if it did, you would see a number right here. Additional information, going to give you a few things, event date, event creation date. So we're going to go, I'm going to hit done. We're going to go back. Now we're going to view the transaction. So we looked at the journal entry. Now we want to look at the transaction. So click on view transaction. Invoice number at the top here. The supplier is Eleanor. Invoice amount $30. Funds that are reserved. Just kind of gives you an overview of the invoice. And we've already seen the accounting string, but this is kind of invoice side of it. If you didn't know, if you got to this page and didn't know where these were charged, if you highlight one of these lines, either one, it's going to show you. If you click on view distributions, it'll show you both lines in here and the where it was charged, cost center, account number, and all that stuff. And it'll give you a description of what each one is. So I'm gonna hit OK. Rolling down, you kind of get a summary of the invoice, the total. If there was any freight or miscellaneous or tax on it, that would be listed here. So that's how to drill down to the actual invoice from the Inquirer Journals lines. So we'll go done. I'm gonna hit done. and done. And the best way to get back to where you need to go is the top right corner of most screens. You're going to have a done or a cancel or a close button. It's easier to do that than to hit the back button. Sometimes when you hit these back and forward, you blow up the cloud and it gives you an error message, and then you got to restart. So always try to use the keys that are up here in the top right corner for you to go back and forth. Now, I did want to say one more thing about the Inquiry journal lines. Now, this is just, you're not going to get any budget information or anything here. It's just going to be actuals. So just to keep that in mind. Okay, so now we're going to look at a different way to inquiry. Well, before we go, does anybody have any questions on the Inquiry journal lines? Okay. So now we're going to look at inquire on detailed balances. So let me get back to the home page here. I'm going to click on the seal. So now we're back to our home page. For this one, we're also going to go into period close. And then we're going to click on the taskbar. And then right under inquire journal lines where we just were, we're going to hit on inquire on detailed balances. Okay. And this search is a little different than the journal lines that we were just looking at. These are, you got your stars required fields. I've already saved from our previous training. I had a saved a search in here, so that's why these are already all populated. If I hadn't saved anything, you would have to fill in each one of these sections. So we're going to do city pool. We'll leave it July. We can leave it May. Currency USD total. These will always be the same, I believe. And for the scenario, we're going to look at actual, but you could look at budgets, some of your encumbrances, if you like. Now, the difference in this screen versus journal lines is you don't necessarily have to know the fund, department, cost center, account. You can click all fund values. Now, how you do that is you can type it in, but I recommend using the drop down. I'm going to clear all these out. Show you how to get to them. So for fund, we're going to hit drop down, and the first one up here, all fund values. Now you can choose some parent funds we have here, or if you know the fund that you want to look for, you can type it in, or you can hit the search, and then you can search for it up here. I want to look at that golf course fund, 1105, search, and there it is. I'm gonna delete this and go back, and see, you can scroll through all the funds until you find the one you want because it's got the fund number and the description over here for you. We're gonna stick with we're just gonna say all fund values right now, and then you'll have to scroll down to okay. Department, once again, hit the drop down. You can choose the department you'd like. I'm gonna leave it all department values, and the cost center. In this instance, I'm gonna look at the land development office cost center. So we're gonna hit the drop down. I'm gonna hit search, and we are going to, I've written it down so I know that it's G7.1, search, and there it is. Just click on it, make sure it's highlighted blue, click OK. And then we're going to do drop down on account. We're going to do all account values. And then I'm just going to do all values for the rest of these. So all work location, all activity, all project, all off. And from here, we're going to hit search. Okay. So if you want to scroll down and look at your search, so since we ran the accounting period July to May, how this works is it starts with and we did all account values too. So it's going to give us all the account values for every single period in this cost center. So this is going to be a lot of data that we got here. However, you can narrow that down by typing in or by selecting just one account. If you want to look at a specific account from this screen, you can type it in up here. If you want to look at an account that begins with 6 or begins with 7, you can type that in. So if you hit just 6, enter, and it's going to give you all the accounts, and it's doing something weird. Okay. All the accounts that begin with a 6, which are going to be your personnel, like your salaries and stuff. If you wanted to look at any accounts that begin with 7, your operational expenses, you just hit 7, and it's this weird thing where it likes to float around. Okay, now we're back at the top. So these are all your 7 accounts. Now say you're here and you want to look at all 7s that have actual data in them. So see all these zeros? The best way to filter that out is to go to the top bar up here and hit greater than 0. That's going to give you everything greater than 0. So basically every account that has values. Once again, this thing where it jumps around. Okay. So now we got all of our accounts with actual values in. And as you can see, 70227. So this looks like, so this tells me that this account only had one month of activity in January of 2020. And then it's going to 703.206, so it kind of goes in order. And so 703.206 looks like it has a bunch of stuff throughout the year. And how this works, if you got to scroll down and go over to the right. So you got your beginning balance, period activity, and ending balance. So let's see. Let's 703.206. What it looks like. All right. So for 703.206 for the first month, now I can't see the months because it's over here. You can also change. You can add descriptions to these columns. If you click the view columns, you want to know what your account is. Like, what is 703.206? You can check the account description here, and it's going to give you. So we're looking at air cards here, okay? And you might have to sometimes mess with column widths. And if you just hover over in between each column, you'll get these arrows and stuff, and you just hold and click and drag, and that way you can see the full description. So, so as I was saying over here, the balance is it's going to give you the beginning balance, which is 0. Anything that happened during the month of July 2019, and then the ending balance. And then now this ending balance is going to be the next period's beginning balance. So if you were looking on this as like a year to date and you wanted to know this account's total balance for the year, you would really just scroll down, and it looks like, okay, hang on. I don't know what. Okay, so these are the activities. So it's adding this single amount every month to the ending balance. I don't know what happened. So apparently we had a. Oh, hang on. I know what's wrong here. We're looking at too many years. Let me type in July 2020, not July 2019. That's what's throwing me off. To May 2021. Okay. Gonna go back down to 70206. Now we got 1 fiscal year instead of 2. That's what was throwing me off. So rolling down, you'll see your beginning balance, and then each month, this is the monthly activity, and it gets added to the ending. And so the ending for each month becomes the beginning balance for the next month. This is kind of hard to So we started off with this, and that was our ending for July, and then this was the beginning for August. August had this amount during the month, and then this was the ending balance, and then this ending balance gets added. to the next one. So that's kind of how this function works. This lookup. Won't scroll back over. You can export this to Excel, just like most every other thing within the cloud. You can always export your data to Excel to play with, to look at, and do what you need to do with it. Once again, these are just actual amounts. We don't have any budget on the Enquire on detailed balances. It's just going to be actuals, unless you change it to budget. Now, you can change it up here to get your budget, but we're just looking at actuals right now. So, employees. And really, I mean, the best thing I keep telling people is just once you get access, is just to get in here and mess around with it. You can use, this is really wide open as to what you can do. You can search for specific accounts, specific cost centers. You can search for specific funds. It's really just personal preference and what you're used to tracking. So I'm going to go to done. All right. So before we go to the budget monitor, did anybody have any questions on the Enquire on detailed balances?
Can you drill down from the screen?
Yeah. Yeah, let me go back. All right, I'm gonna run this from July to May. Actually, I'm gonna click here. Search for July 20, hit OK. No values in this one. So this didn't bring back any values. So I'm gonna try it again. Okay, there we go. Sometimes you just gotta hit it twice. So you're asking about drilling down. So let me find something with data in it. So I'm gonna hit the greater than 0 so I can find something where I know there's data. We'll just start with this one. Yeah, if you click on the actual amount, the period activity, I'll get down here, don't scroll over. That's going to be where you're going to drill down to, is this column here, period activity. So you click on this. These are your journals that make up that amount. These are all conversion journals that came in during the month of July. If you want to look at the actual journal, you can click on one of these hyperlinks. And then here's the journal. And you scroll down, and this is the conversion journal that it came in on. And this is the basically the journal of inquiry screen. So I'm gonna go back. So that's how you drill. Any other questions?
Yeah, what about encumbrance? Will it show the encumbrance in all the numbers?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
An encumbrance.
Yeah, if you wanted to look at encumbrances here, you would just change your scenario up here. So you could hit this drop down. And you can hit, you can choose encumbrance. Let's see what we get. Not sure. Let me change this to. It's not looking like there's anything in this one. Let's go back to the LDO one and see if we can find something. So July to May, scenario encumbrance, hit search. That's not showing us anything. When we get to the budget monitor, you'll see the encumbrances there.
Okay,
I'm not sure I would use this screen to search for encumbrances. You could do, so your commitments are your recs and your obligation is your POs. So let's see if we can find something under here. It's not pulling up anything. Balaji, do you know why we're not seeing anything here?
Probably there is no data.
Probably there's no data. Yeah, there's, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try all cost centers and we'll see what we get. Okay, so now you're looking at your obligations here. And let's see if you were to click on one of these to drill down. Let's see what we get to. So there's your purchase order. So you click on that, it'll take you to the journal for the purchase order. Cancel. If you click on the amount over here, now it's going to take us to Subledger. So now we're in the purchasing ledger module. The view journal entry, you can view this here. And there you go. There's the 2 lines for the PO obligation.
Did it give a PO number? That was always a problem in the other.
Let's see. Let me go to general. I think this is it. I think this is the PO number. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, yes, Josh,
Would that be
PUR,
it?
that is the purchase order number.
Okay.
Purchase orders will start with PUR, and it's coming from the purchasing. This journal's coming from the purchasing module.
Yes. So this is the PO number. Okay. You can also, okay, so here you go. If you click on transaction details, it also gives you the PO number here and the supplier. It's open or closed, status of it. So we're going to hit done. Any other questions on this before we get out? Okay. I'm going to go back to the home page here and we'll hit the house. Now we're going to look at the budget monitor. So from the home screen, you're going to go into budgetary control. Once here, you're going to click on budgetary control. And this is the home page of the budget monitor. Before we begin, I'm going to jump over to eBiz. The budget monitor was set up for most of you that are used to funds inquiry in eBiz. So if you're used to the screen right here, funds available inquiry, the budget monitor is going to be the closest thing. It's going to be a little different, so it'll take some getting used to, but it's going to give you your budget, your total encumbrance, your actual, and then your funds available. So let's go look at it. So here, once you're here, you can create your own budget account group. And to do that, you go to View, Budget Account Group, and you go to Create. So here's how you're going to set up your budget account groups that you want to essentially monitor in the budget monitor. You look at every day or week or however you'd like to. So you're going to name it something. So these that are starred, obviously you got to fill them in. So let's look at let's create one for the fire department. We'll just say fire, and we'll do general fund. That's just a demonstration. And then once you name it, you got to pick the control budget you want to view it as, and you're going to have a few different options in here, and I'll briefly go over each one. The amended budget is going to be expenditures only, and it's going to include any changes or adjustments made to the expenditure side of the budget. And it's also going to be, you're going to be able to view it using the 14-month calendar, which you're used to seeing like June, July, August. You'll be able to use those months or periods to view it as. And it's going to include prior year encumbrances that were carried forward. And so this one without encumbrances is the same thing. It just doesn't include the carry forward encumbrances. You probably won't use it. I would stay away from this one. The approved budget, that's going to be your original approved budget. It's going to include both revenue and expenditures. And it's also going to be viewed on a 14-month calendar, so you can select the periods you want to look at. The detail budget, this is going to be the citywide budget that you're used to seeing in eBiz. It's going to be expenses, revenues, any changes to the budget, I believe, will be shown here. So if you're in eBiz and you're looking at your funds inquiry screen, the budget is citywide budget. That's going to be the detailed budget in the cloud. And this one is going to be on a budget on a calendar year. So whenever you're viewing your accounts with this, everything will be like on a year-to-year basis, year-to-date basis. So, and then the revenue one is basically the same thing. The revenue amendment is the same thing as the amended, except instead of expenditures, it's revenues. And then the summary budget is going to be a high-level summary of your funds and your accounts. So, and it's also going to be on a calendar year view. So you'll be looking at it on a year-to-date basis. For this one, we're going to stick with the detailed budget. I believe most of you will probably want to use this one as your default. So we're going to click on that. You can set it as default, so every time you go to the Budget Monitor home screen, it pops up. We'll set this as default for us. Oh, excuse me. And over here, this is kind of something new. So when we get to the Budget Monitor, you'll see your budget. You'll see your consumption, which is going to be your encumbrances and actuals, and then you'll see something called funds available, which is taking your budget less your consumption. And this kind of lets you see how your budget is, faring throughout the year. You can change these colors. Normally, green means good. Yellow means warning, and red means bad or whatever. But you can change these colors to whatever you would like, and you can change the ranges. So it's going to be a percent of the budget. So if you wanted, any account or fund that has greater than a 50% budget left, you can change that to show green. If anything below like 50 and 20% remaining, you can change it to yellow, and then anything less than 20 will show as red. So this is kind of personal preference, whatever you'd like to see there. And so now, once you've got everything set up, your name, control, but you can add a description, but you don't have to. We're going to go and we're going to create the budget group. So you're going to come down here, you're going to hit the plus sign, and now it's going to give you this. Basically, this is the accounting segment here that you're going to fill in. You can call it something. We'll say general fund fire. For the fund, you can always hit the drop down. You can do all funds. You can do one fund. We're going to do just the general fund. We're doing general fund fire. And then so for departments, same thing. Hit the drop down, pick your department, or choose all departments. We're going to click J for fire. And then the rest of these, I'm just going to do all values. So we're going to do all cost centers in J, all accounts, all work locations, all activities, all project, and all offers. Now, once this is set up, if you're ready to go, you can hit save, or you can hit the drop down and hit save and close, or you can hit save and create another group. And you can add more things down here. I believe you can add as many as you'd like. So if you're responsible for a group of funds, say you work with sewer, you work in the sewer department, and you want to watch 6010, 6011, and 6012, which are our sewer funds. You can add multiple groups down here, multiple lines under one account, under one budget group. So I could go in and add a totally different string here. And you can also delete them too. So I'll show you how to manage your groups later. But I'm just going to go ahead and delete this line out because we're just going to look at this this one department today. Or in this demonstration. So once you're ready to go, we'll hit save and close. And so since I checked default, it popped up already as the default one. And we did the detailed budget. So it's gonna, so this is what I was telling you, you got it by year. Now we're only gonna have, I think, budgets up through 19 and forward. So if you click 19, you should have some amounts. If we go into 18, yeah, you don't have any. So we're going to stick with year 2021. And so this homepage just kind of gives you an overview of 1100J. This is going to be total budget, total consumption, and funds available. Once we drill down further, you'll see that how the encumbrances and the actuals are broken out. So from here, you can click on all cost centers. If you want to look at a cost center level, you can click on all account values. If you want to look at the account level, I want to click on all cost centers. And so now we've got, and this is a kind of a weird quirk that we're trying to work out. You can see it's giving me cost centers that start with A, which there's not going to be a department J with a cost center A. This is just, I think it's given us all of the chart of account cost centers right here. But to filter this down, we've got our query by example toolbar up here. So you probably always want to make sure this is highlighted blue. That way you can search within each column. If not blue, or if it's not there, then you just got to go up here and click on it, add to the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm above cost center. I'm just going to hit J, and then I'm going to hit enter. So now we've got our J cost centers, our cost centers that belong with fire. Now, like I've said before, you can add descriptions to these if you'd like. We can go to view, columns, say we want to know what our cost centers are called, this cost center description. And like I said earlier, you might have to drag some of these columns over to view the full description. So that gets us most of the way. So you can see what each cost center is called. And so here you still got budget, consumption, and funds available. Let's just go into the admin cost centers. So you can click on either one of these. I believe you get to the same spot. So we'll click on the budget amount. Now this is what you're going to be used to seeing in eBiz when you have your total budget. You got your commitments, obligations. These are your encumbrances and other consumption. And other consumption is really just like if we were to do a manual entry to an encumbrance, I believe that would show up here, but this will most likely probably always show zeros. So once in here, you've got your different accounts and budget in each account, encumbrances for each account, and you'll have to scroll over to see your expenditures in each account. And so then you get your total consumption. Well, like I said, it's going to be your encumbrances plus expenses, and then your funds available, which is going to be your budget less your consumption, and then your what's available over here will give you the percent. Now, one thing we're trying to change, or we're trying to get AST to change for us, is this column here says expenditures. This can also include your revenue accounts. So we're trying to get this to say actual. If you refer to eBiz, I'll flip back over. That column, it always said actual, and you would see revenues, expenses, the liability counts, all those in there. So that's just one thing we're trying to work with them to correct. So for this to not say expenditures, but say actual, so people don't get confused, because it is a little confusing when you're looking at a revenue account under this expenditure column. So that's how you drill down to look at these. You can click on these hyperlinks over here and drill down even further to get to a journal. If you were to click this, now you've got the journals that made up the 197 that we were just looking at. So these are all the journal entries. You can export this to Excel if you'd like, or if you want to look to the actual transaction, you can drill down and look at the actual journal. So now we're back to the journal inquiry page, which we've seen a few times, and this is the full conversion journal that this one came on. So I'm gonna go back. We'll hit done. And we'll get back to the home page here. So now we're back to the dashboard, the home page. And we're still in the cost center values here. As you can see, if you want to go back to the roll up, I guess, the very first page we're looking at, you'll just click this little first hyperlink here, and this will take you back to where we were. Now you can see we added the cost center description in a minute ago, and it's kept it there. So one, I think you should be able to move it from this screen. Now you just see your all cost centers, all accounts. And like I was saying earlier, you can drill down by account if you'd like. So you can click the you can't really see it, the all account values. We'll look at this. Delete that out. So now we're in all account values. If you want to look at a specific account, you can type it in. And if you want to look at accounts begin with like 7, your operational accounts that are in, you hit 7 and then enter. It's going to give you all the 7s. And to suppress these zeros, like see these first few accounts have nothing in them, you can go in these boxes here, hit greater than 0, hit enter, and it should bring all the accounts with values in them. So, and you can do that with the cost centers too. So just different ways to drill down, basically. And we'll go back to the home page here. So just different ways to drill down. And like I've said, I think the best thing for y'all to do is just get in and play with it. Set up your budget groups. One thing I didn't mention, for those that have been in the other session and seen the account monitor, I'm gonna go back into the create a budget monitor. The account monitor has an option to set it as public or private. Right now, under the budget monitor, we don't have an option. So every budget group that gets created within the city is going to be public. But we've asked AST to see if there's a way to turn on the public, private, and shared options in the budget monitor like you have in the account monitor, just so you can kind of create your own and have it set it as private for just your needs and stuff. So we don't have like, hundreds of budget account groups sitting out there in the cloud. So we're working on that. We'll go cancel. We'll back out. I'm going to show you how to manage and edit a group if you've already created one and you need to go add things to it or delete anything from it. So once again, we're at the dashboard. So we're at the home page here at the budget monitor. We're going to check view, and then we're going to click on budget account group. And so you can see all the ones we've created. And if these stay public, this list will just grow and continue to grow, and we'll have a bunch of groups out here to look at. But hopefully we can get that corrected. So from this screen, you'll go to manage, and then you just got to find whichever one you want to edit. We did, let's see. Where's the fire? Okay, here's the one we did today, fire general fund. So whichever one you want to edit, you need to make sure you click on it and that the row is highlighted blue. So we're going to click on fire, and to edit it, you just hit this edit button, this little pencil. And this takes you back to the page where we created it. Oh, excuse me. And so here, if you wanted to, add a different fund within the fire department, you could click on this, and you could add a different fund, or you could, add a specific cost center, specific count. So you can change up your group if you'd like. It's never set in stone. So we'll cancel, back out. So that's basically the budget monitor. Do we have any questions on that? any in the chat. Anything I missed, Balaji?
You did great.
All right. Well, if no one has any questions, we'll go on to reports and show you how to run a report. Okay. Back to the home page. So I just hit the seal here, took me back home. So to run reports, we're going to you're going to go to your tools. So like I said earlier, you don't see the tools here. If you hit this little arrow, it'll scroll over. There's your tools button. You can click on that. You can also get to it by clicking on these 3 lines up here. And see, find your tools, hit the down arrow. You have your options. So I'm going to go back to the home here. So under tools, we're going to go to schedule processes. Then here we're going to do schedule new process. And here, if you don't know what report, the name of it, or you just want to search through the reports, you can hit this drop down. These are going to be reports. You can search for a report. You can hit search. You can run the search wide open. And now it's going to, or maybe you can't change that. Should be able to search. Well, maybe not. Okay. Let me go back out then. So with the drop down, we don't have all the reports from eBiz loaded in here. These are just going to be the seeded ones that came with the cloud. AST is working with us to create reports that we've created in eBiz so that you have the option to run those in the cloud. We do have a trial balance report in here, so that's what we're going to run today. We'll look at the trial balance. And once you click on your report, it gives you a description of it. So it's going to tell me this is going to list period debits, credits, going to get any balances, summarized by natural account or account combination. And you can add another segment like department or cost center. So for the trial balance, we're just going to hit OK. Now here, these are just your standard details. If you'd like to, if you're looking to run the report immediately and you don't need anything other than this, you would check your data access set, which is going to be the city of Chattanooga. Your ledger, it's going to be the city of Chattanooga. The currency is going to be USD. Currency type is going to be total. Balance type, for this one, we're going to run it actual. Then you got to select the period you want to run it as. We'll just run it as of June. And you can select how you want to run it or the type. So you want period to date. So you just want monthly, or do you want project to date, quarter to date, or year to date? We're going to run it as year to date. And then the balancing segment. So you gotta click on this little filter here. This is where you're going to add the fund. It's the only balancing segment we have. So you're going to click fund, and if you know your fund, you can type it in that you want to run it by. You can change. You can run like a range, I guess. We're just going to do equals. We're just going to run it one fund, and we'll run it. We'll do the golf courses. So I'm gonna hit the drop down. I'm gonna hit search, and let's see. I think I should be able to type in golf and hit search. And should get golf. Or maybe you need to put, let's see, parentheses in there. That's not good. Oh, Balaji, why is this not? Why is the description part not working? Because if I run the search wide open, let's see. Yeah, you should be able to. So, Balaji, I was trying to search for the description.
One of the go to advanced, and in the description, click contains, not start with.
Okay. Okay.
That's why
So,
you are not finding it.
it's because it had to.
And
Okay.
value, you need to change the value as is not blank. And the
Gotcha.
description contains.
The golf course. Okay. So I'm gonna go back, show you how to get here. So let me see. Let me cancel. So if you know the name of the fund, but you don't know the fund, and this goes for other instances also within the cloud, like when you're looking at detailed balances. That's why I'm covering this here because I didn't cover it before. You have your basic search options, but if you hit the advanced, it's just going to let you give you more options to search from. So what Balaji was saying is for the value we'll hit is not blank. That means it's going to return ones that have a value to it with it. Description, you would want to, if you know a name in the description, I was trying to search for the golf course, but it began with municipal. We're going to do contains, and then we're going to hit golf, and now we're going to search, and there we go. So now we got the funds. You got your parent. These are older, probably will be disabled in the cloud. So we're going to click 1105, the golf course. I'm going to hit OK. And then from here, once you've picked out your fund, and I'd say most people are going to know their fund that they're running a trial balance for. So you won't even have to use the search probably most of the time. You can just type it in and hit OK, run with it. So now from here, you can add a additional segment like department or something, or you can just run it by natural account, which is just the account number that you're used to seeing in Oracle or in eBiz. So we're just going to click natural account. And you also have options to set this up to run weekly, monthly, whenever. So if you go up here and go to advanced, you can schedule any report to run whenever you would like it to. So go to, now that I've hit the advanced, it gives me this these options up here. So I'm gonna click schedule. You can say as soon as possible, or you can use your own schedule. Frequency, you can tell it to run, once, hourly, minutely, daily, weekly, monthly. So if you wanted to, schedule a report to run on the first of each month or the end of each month, you could do monthly. Scroll down. You can repeat by day or by date. If you hit the by date, you get this calendar thing. So you can just say last day of the month is when I want my report to be run by. You keep scrolling down. You can pick the time. So if you were to schedule these, the best time is probably, maybe middle of the night when no one's on the system. If it's a big report, that way, you can have it ready for you when you get into the office in the morning. You can have the start date. You can change the time to, I could say 11 p.m. and you want it to end date 11 p.m. and you want to run it, for the next year. So you could say 6/11/21 to 6/22. And you can, set that up to run every last day of the month for you at 11 o'clock. And then it's ready for you the next day. But we're not going to do that. We're going to just say as soon as possible. I'll go back to parameters. So it's got all the ones we just put in. We got our filter, we got our fund. If you hover over this, it's going to tell you the fund equal to 1105. We're going to run it with all the account numbers in there. Just leave the natural account choice. Go ahead and submit. And it says it was submitted. So, okay. And now once you've submitted it, you'll have to hit this refresh button here a few times. So there you can see it's running, waiting. Now it's running. And really just, keep clicking this until it says completed. So, or succeeded, yeah. Succeeded is the final status. So once it's done, you click this. It's going to say it's completed. Hit OK. Scroll down. Here's your output. So you want to hit republish. And this is going to come up in a different screen. And then you're going to click this little actions circle thing here. So you click this. You want to export it. And you have the option to export it XML, HTML, PDF. You can export it to Excel if you like, or a CSV file, or PowerPoint. I've honestly never used PowerPoint, but you could do that. I'm just going to do HTML. Easy function. It's just easy to view it, I believe, as HTML. So put that, and then here's your report. And so we ran the golf course. So you got your fund, you got all the accounts. It's going to give you the account descriptions, and it's going to give you your beginning, debit, credit, in that account, and then the ending. So that's trial balance report. Scroll down to the bottom and get your totals. So that's how to run a trial balance. We'll X out of there. All right. Any questions on how to run a report?
I have a question. Will you have notes on all the, like we did in the last training that we had back in 97 to refer back to?
In 97?
Yeah, they did pages of notes that showed the screen and how to get around.
Oh, like screen prints?
Yeah,
I don't think we have that right now. Balaji, is there notes or training materials that provide screen prints of the cloud?
We have prepared the training material and we have shared the training material link to you, Josh. You could download them from for anybody who doesn't have access to the SharePoint, you could send them over to the entire audience.
Okay. Yeah, I'll show you what the training material looks like, right? That we have. You don't have screen prints, but these are the contents we've covered in the 2 GL meetings. So it's going to give you step-by-step instructions on, so like Inquirer journals, it's going to tell you how to get there, how to navigate to it. It's kind of gives you screen prints, I guess, this little hint column. So yeah, so I guess it does give you some screen prints on how to follow the instructions. So, but these are all available on the
where are the notes available?
let me show you how to, if it'll work for me. Okay, so I'm gonna go to
not everybody has access to SharePoint, I think, Josh. Which is
no, they're on the ePortal. They're on the ePortal.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go to ePortal, sign in. As of now, I think the only way I know how to get to them is go to this latest news on the homepage of the ePortal. Click on Oracle Cloud Go Live, and then it's going to give you an update. And then you click on training materials right here, this hyperlink, and it's going to give you a PowerPoint. And then for the GL, you're going to go to slide 3 here, and if you kind of hover over, kind of got to click up here in this box and hover over the financials link, and then you're going to go Oracle Cloud Financials. Just click on that link, and then these are all the training materials for finance that we have. So your general ledger, the big general ledger is, most of you will find it. You don't have the access that you need for this, so I wouldn't go to the Inquirer only, because that's the we've kind of pulled out the training materials that the Inquirer only users are going to need. So I'll click on this one, and you're going to get the document I was showing you here, and it'll go over each one of the exercises. That's how you get to it. Any other questions?
If you schedule a report, where do you go, like that morning or whatever time you schedule, to actually find your reports that you guys?
It should be under the It'll show up under scheduled processing where you went to run it. It'll be on here. So we have some time. I'll schedule one and I'll show you where it's at. So let me go back in. I'll start from the beginning. Go back to the home page. Can someone? I'm hearing some like echoing. Someone's background on. Please mute. All right. So back at the home page, like I said, you're going to want to go to Tools, Schedule Processes, and this is the one we just ran, but we're going to schedule a new one. And I'm just going to do the trial balance that we ran. So trial, let's see, trial balance report. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to hit OK. And then, so here's, now we're just going to, I'm going to leave everything the same. We'll add a fund. We can do 1100 this time, hit OK. All right, and then I'm going to go to advanced, like I was showing you earlier. And this is going to give you a schedule option. And we're going to say using a schedule. And we can just do the frequency once, just for this demonstration. So we'll run it. Say you want it to, say you want to run it on a Monday. So we'll say 6/14. That's Monday, isn't it? Yeah. So you want it ready for you Monday morning. So we'll say 6/14, and we'll say like 4 a.m. That way, hopefully no one's on the system then, and the report will run. So once 6/14, 4 a.m. You also have the option. You can set which output you want it to be. If you know you want it in Excel, or you know you want PDF, and you don't want to have to, decide which one of those to pick when the report runs. You can set it up here. Hit this little plus sign, and you can call it whatever you want to call it, and choose your format. So if you know you want it in HTML, then you can do that. I'm not gonna do this right now. I'm just gonna hit X. And you can also notify people. So if your boss asks you to run a report and they want it first thing Monday morning, you can click on create notification, and this will be the user ID of that recipient. And it should be, once you do that and you change, let's see, you'll put there, so I'll just say mine. The condition, you probably want to select all. That way, if it fails or if it errors out, you'll know. So instead of just putting on success, I would just check all, and then you hit OK. And then when whoever's ID up here you put, I think they'll have they should have a notification under their little bell up here on their home screen when the report runs. So just some other options to choose from. So we're going to run this for Monday at 4 a.m. So we've got that. We've got our parameters. We'll hit submit, and it tells us it was submitted, and hit this little refresh button. And so here it is, and it's waiting, and it will be in waiting status until 4 a.m. Monday morning. So it tells you when you submitted it, and it tells you the scheduled time it's going to run. So that's where you would view it. You would always come back to scheduled processes to view this. That's a good question. So, any other questions about reports or anything we covered? All right. Well, that's all I got, Balaji. You got anything else to say?
We got GL history conversion for the summary, previous 2 fiscal years. We got current fiscal years, detailed journals, conversions are happening. And to get to the detail, for example, if they have any question on the 2018 summary journal entry and they want to go to the detail, it's not going to reside in cloud. The details is going to be in the EBS, and there is a read-only version of EBS that it should be.
Yeah, we're gonna have a read-only
available.
version of eBiz for at least the foreseeable future. I mean, for probably a while now. So those of you
Right.
that need to view history, old balances, old accounts, you need to go, look something up that you did a few years ago and you don't remember, what you did or whatever. We'll have a read-only version of eBiz, and that's how you'll view anything prior to 2019, I think, FY 2019. So.
And then the other thing that I would like to add, Josh, is the Smart View add-in software that needs to be installed. If any of these end users have to run some sort of FRS report or Smart View, then they would definitely need that add-in to be installed. That needs to be, that's my comment. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to follow up on that. Basically, Smart View is replacing GL Connect. So for those
That's right.
that run GL Connect, if you want to reach out to us and just let us know, we'll try to get you the Smart View add-on. And there will, I guess, down the road there'll have to be some training on that, but I'm not even very familiar with it yet, so so we're still working on it. But yeah, so if you use GL Connect, I guess reach out to someone. You can reach out to me or whoever, and we'll make sure you get Smart View on your computer. That's all I got.
Excellent, Josh. Thank you so much. You covered extensively and you nailed it. It's excellent training, I would say.
All right. Well, thanks guys for attending. Like I said, we'll have one more of these next Tuesday at 8 a.m. that covers what we covered in this meeting. And we got one more meeting on Monday at 10 a.m. to go over the stuff in the first session. So 2 more trainings and then we're done for the GL. That's all I got.
Thank you, team.
All right.
Feel free to join those sessions also if you need additional. The more you see, the better familiar you will get. So feel free to join that session also. It's all virtual. Thank you.
See y'all.